Hi, this is Kyle Rowley and Kirk Jackson from BYU Geoinformatics class. We are presenting a web-based map project illustrating the miracles performed by Jesus Christ. Among the many events recorded by the New Testament authors, the miracles performed always stands out in testimony of who Christ was and what he did. He traveled many miles, healing the sick, raising the dead, and helping those in need. Our class project was to create a web-based, interactive map to illustrate events recorded in the Scriptures. Web maps such as this one are useful to illustrate events and add a spatial element to the information presented. For example, a user viewing this map may be surprised, as we were, by noting the many miles that Jesus walked as he ministered to different people. While this map is useful for illustrating scriptural events, web-based maps may be useful for a variety of other reasons. When you open our web page, you will notice 3 interactive panels. In the center, the map appears. You will see green polygons. Each polygon represents political boundaries of ancient Israel. The orange lines represent the paths Jesus would have walked to each location if he were using Google Maps navigation device. The blue dots represent the event locations. Our map employs a clustering feature which groups events within a specified radius of pixels. The size of the dot represents the number of miracles at that location. As you zoom into the map, you will notice that the clusters break apart into more specific locations. Hovering over a location will list the miracles that occurred there. By clicking on an event, a list of links appear on the right-hand side of the screen used to navigate between the events in that area. On the left side of the screen, the miracles are given chronologically and may be viewed in a similar manner by clicking on the link. When a link is clicked, a pop-up appears on the screen. The pop-up provides the location and descriptive title of the miracle that occurred at that location. Scriptural references are provided with links to the scriptures on LDS.org. Where available, LDS Bible videos are also in the pop-up for viewing. Our data was derived primarily using the resources available in the LDS version of the Scriptures. We used the Harmony of the Gospels, which may be found in the Bible Dictionary, as a basis for locating each miracle and referencing the Scriptures. Our web map is based on the use of KML files. Our KML files were created using Google Earth. Google Earth has the capability of exporting KML files by creating a custom layer. We used Google Earth for the creation of points and lines, whereas ArcMap was used to create the political boundaries by georeferencing an image given from Dr. Shirley of Eastern New Mexico University.
Now I'll talk a little bit about how the JavaScript was written. The JavaScript is divided into 3 sections. In the first section, we create all the layers. In the second section, the Open Layers map is created. In the third section, the control for the map and links are created. The clustering strategy is employed during the miracles layer creation. Inside OpenLayers.layer.vector is an option for strategies. Adding OpenLayers.strategy.cluster implements the cluster strategy for that layer. The style of the cluster is then defined in OpenLayers.style. The radius of each point is dependent on the inline function within the context option. The inline function counts the number of attributes within the cluster and sets the radius style using that information. The map is created differently than most of the examples on openlayers.org. Instead of creating an initialize function, all the layers are added to the map when the map variable is created using the layers option in openlayers.map. There are 2 basic controls needed to control the map. The first control handles the events related to the miracles geographically, and the second control handles the events related to the miracles chronologically. The first control, called FP control, is used to manage what happens when the map elements from the miracles layers are interacted with. FP control is created from featurepopup.js, which was written by Xavier Mamano and published under the MIT license. Many thanks, Xavier. The displaying of cluster pop-ups creation of the dynamic list of features selected within the cluster, and pop-up of KML HTML descriptions are all handled by the control variable fpcontrol. This is where the list elements of the div list are defined. Notice the two function calls, map.removePopup and showPopup. Since there are two separate control structures used, two different means are employed to remove existing pop-ups from the map when a new pop-up is selected. fpcontrol has a control defined in featurePopup.js, which is similar to the onUnselect control used in OpenLayers. The link select feature uses the map.removePopup to call to remove existing pop-ups. If the link select function has been called before the fpcontrol is called, the existing link select pop-up needs to be removed before the new pop-up is created using the fpcontrol function showPopup. ShowPopup displays a pop-up with the location tag of the KML followed by the description tag of the KML. The name of the link created in the div list is the location tag of the KML placemark, followed by the name tag of the KML placemark. In this way, the list in div list is allocated dynamically. The second control is not technically a control but a function. The function is called linkSelect. It is the control which allows the links under the miracles chronologically to show the pop-up related to the link name. This function is used to call the pop-up for the miracles chronologically links. This function was created separately from the fpcontrol because the fpcontrol is a control and not a function. Links can easily run functions, but controls are more difficult as they require event listeners. The purpose of the linkSelect function is to create a pop-up of the KML description of a placemark or feature. The function accepts as input the feature name as a string. It then returns a pop-up populated with the name and description of the KML placemark. Had the clustering strategy not been implemented, selecting the feature in question would have been as simple as myFeature.getFeatureByAttribute with the attribute name and attribute. However, the cluster strategy has an interesting effect on the structure of the vector data layers. The features of a vector layer using the cluster strategy are not the actual features, but the clusters themselves. Within each cluster exist one or more of the actual features, which contain the name and location tags. The linkSelect function searches through each cluster feature, and then through each of the actual features within that cluster for the name of the feature for which we want to display the pop-up. Once the actual feature is found, a pop-up is created and added to the map. Before any pop-ups are added to the map, the function removes any existing pop-ups that have been previously added, either by the fpcontrol or by the linkSelect function. A try statement is implemented for this process because the first pop-up created will not be able to remove the previous pop-up since there is no previously created pop-up. When the pop-up box is selected, the onPopUpClose function is called, which removes the current pop-up. The linkSelect feature is called within the HTML file under the chronological div unsorted list.
As we conclude our presentation of the web page and assignment that we have completed for this class, we wanted to add our testimony to those who witnessed Christ's miracles, that we know that they occurred and were performed by the Son of God. John writes, "And there are also many other things which Jesus did, the which, if they should be written, every one, I suppose that even the world itself could not contain the books that should be written." Or if John were writing today, he may have included web pages. I know that the more that we learn about Jesus Christ and try to live like him, the more happy we will be.
For me, being able to see visually the distances Jesus traveled on foot during his ministry helps me understand better his love for us. There is no distance too great for him to reach us with his love. I am also struck at the magnitude, number, and significance of his miracles. I wonder how people then could have possibly denied that he was the Christ, given so many manifestations of his divine authority. Thanks for watching. We hope that you learned something, and we invite you to take a look at our webpage, which is provided in the link in the description below this video.